What's going on, guys? It's Scott from Woke Society. I got my webcam working now, which is awesome. We're going to be filming and showing you some stuff tonight. And the topics that I want to get into are going to be things about JFK Jr. being alive, possibly. We're going to be talking about some pole shifts with the Earth and how that's affecting farmers and whatnot. And obviously, you probably all have heard by now is the Virginia shooter incident that happened just yesterday. But the first thing I want to get into is the JFK Jr. Rumors, I guess you could say. People call it conspiracy theories, but there is a lot of compelling evidence that I'm seeing from our communities right now. And it sounds crazy. I'm not saying it's true, but pretty much I'm going to come out right with it. Supposedly, the big talking points right now is that JFK Jr. is supposedly going to be coming out on July 4th. He's going to announce that he's alive, and he's going to be possibly running to be vice president with Donald Trump for the 2020 campaign. It sounds crazy, but I'm going to show you some things. A little documentary that I found here that was made here by Jennifer Mack, and a YouTube video called "Is JFK Jr. Still Alive?" I have some of the talking points I made here on my notes that I'm going to show some. I'm not going to obviously play this whole entire thing right now, but I have some written down notes here of the timing on this timeline of this video here that I want to show you guys. So, if anyone doesn't know, JFK Jr.'s plane crashed on July 16th, 1999. And his wife, Carolyn Bassett, was with him. And again, these rumors that I'm hearing are that he is possibly still alive, and this guy named Vincent Fusca could be him. I'm not sure. I don't know if this is true, but I'm going to show you some talking points here. And this is all related to Q as well. And I haven't really shown what Q proofs are. I've talked about them a little bit. But I'm going to show you what Q has said about JFK Jr. and how this documentary is related. And it would be pretty crazy if he's still alive, not to be completely honest. But yeah, let's get started here. Let's see. I'm going to start right here at 1 minute. And I'm going to show you who this Fusca guy is.
We are finally defending our borders. Care of so badly by our politicians because they don't know what they're doing.
So real quick, guys, the guy that I'm going to be showing you, and obviously it says right here, did you see that? It's going to do a little slow-mo version, and we're looking at this guy right here, directly behind Donald Trump. Right here. Just going to look at him for a second. When I was researching this stuff, it blew my mind, but we'll see if this is true or not. Again, this is who we're looking at right here. It appears Donald Trump is looking, turns around, points right at him. Peter and this guy is looking right at him as well. So, I just wanted to show you guys what this guy looks like. This guy, Fusca. These are the rumors saying that this guy could possibly be JFK Jr. covered up. I don't really know, but we're going to continue on, and I'm going to show you the next talking point I have here. So we're going to scroll all the way to 350 here, which I found the next interesting point. Now, this guy's name is Corticon. He is an Anon. He deciphers a lot of the Q drops, and he goes into a lot of the stuff here in this documentary and how this all relates to JFK Jr. So we're going to start this right here real quick.
But no, what I'm trying to get here, this is easier for me to do, is that my colleagues are going to hit me hard on this, and so are the viewers. The very first rally that we analyzed Vince Fusca, was on March 10th, 2018. Just so happened to be the same day Q posted. This is paraphrasing, how many times does it need to happen before it becomes mathematically impossible? Wait till you learn who you are talking to. Q, that was on March 10th, the same date as the Donald Trump Pennsylvania rally where our Vince Fusca was. Now, it was not until July when people really started wondering, who the hell is this clown? And a lot of people started out with Seth Rich. And then came in the R post. And I'm not here for no R. There is only Q. But I want to get this part right.
So guys, at this point in the video, he's talking about who is R. Are you ready? When this was coming out, obviously the Q is the 17th letter in the alphabet. The next 18th letter is R. What they're really getting at here is people started to ask QAnon, who is JFK Jr. part of QAnon? Has he been hidden this whole entire time? Did he start QAnon? And people are becoming divided because, from what I know, QAnon is military intelligence that is directly they know Trump. They're getting his message across. They have very close ties to Trump, and people are starting to think, well, maybe this JFK Jr. guy, maybe he is alive, and maybe he's beyond QAnon. So it started to cause a division. And what this guy here, Corticon, was talking about was, who is R? Is R part of all this? And Q replied, as you see here, how many coincidences before it becomes mathematically impossible? Wait until you learn who has been talking to you here. So obviously, everyone thinks JFK Jr. is dead, but what if this guy really was JFK Jr. that's been hidden this entire time to form a plan with Trump to take down the deep state? And that's really what we're getting at here. So I'm going to scroll just a little bit further here, and we're going to be looking at this right here. This was a QAnon post back here on June 24th of 2018. And you can see right here, this is JFK Jr. with obviously a younger Trump. And I'm just going to read this real quick. It says, in 1909, we lost everything. My father caught on. First to the Bilderbergs, then he caught on to NASA. He demanded to know who the Greys were and why they were here. They killed him. Here they're referring to John F. Kennedy, Sr. I strategically staged my own death, allied with the one person in this world whom I knew was honorable enough to trust, and we began to build the plan. Penance is coming, regardless of what you think. You are not yet awake. You do not know how deep this goes. If you knew, you could not sleep. Many of you could never go on. You need each other. You need every one of you. Learn to play nice with each other or be left behind. If one stumbles, pick them up. If one asks a question, give them the answer. This is how we grow. There's no more room in the plan for arrogance and self-importance. If you turn one away, you've hurt the plan. If you hurt the plan, you'll be left behind. We are watching. We see it all. There are no secrets. You would never believe the files kept on every one of you. For that matter, you'd never believe where they are kept. Prepare for the next phase. Prepare each other. You are one. And where we go, one, we go all. And it ends with R. Now, this is very compelling because obviously, from what it sounds like, this is JFK Jr. talking about his father, obviously. And if you know anything about the secret space programs and possibly why he was murdered, he had gained, JFK Sr. had gained knowledge of what was really going on up in space, the ETs, the UFOs, the craft, the technology, everything. And he was obviously assassinated, and there's obviously a whole bunch of theories about how that happened, if he's really dead, who did it, all that stuff. But this is what he's referring to when he says he demanded to know who the Greys were. I was 3 ETs, and the Greys are the ones that the mainstream used probably the most, besides the green ones out in Roswell, but everyone knows who the Greys are. So that was posted, and it seems right here that Donald Trump and JFK Jr. have some sort of relationship. And this, I don't know when this picture was taken, but it was obviously taken a while ago. So we're going to continue on. I just wanted to show you right after this. Let's see. We're gonna go to right about here. Now, what you see here is a post. You have President John F. Kennedy's gravesite, and you have Robert F. Kennedy's gravesite right next to it. And as you can see, this is what it is. This looks like a Q right here. Coincidence? I don't know. But this is just showing as part of this documentary, so I don't think it's a coincidence, obviously, but you can do your own research, and obviously you can decipher it yourself. But I saw this, and this is very strange. So we're going to continue on to right about here.
The person we're going to try to nitpick here is Think Mirror, and it's something that happened today. This was in the old, the lights went out for start to light.
Once again, full faith and support for America's intelligence agencies. I have a full faith in our intelligence agencies. Oops, they just took off the light from the intelligence agencies.
When the lights came back on, and we could see clearly there was some markings on the back of that piece of paper. When he stacked them, there was wordings. So what did we do? We took them, we spun them 180, like if you're looking in the mirror, and turned them upside down. Okay? So that's the mirror. And it says taxes 2.0. Permanent, middle class, tax cut, right here. Now, Lisa does a great job here. Taxes 2.0 and permanent middle tax cuts. That's what it says.
So I just want you guys to see here. I don't know if a lot of you guys know on my site, on my followers, on Twitter or whatnot, on YouTube. I'm just starting. This is all starting out, but if you don't know what QAnon is, this is what they do. They drop these posts and they let the people that anyone can access their website. They let the people do their own research. They do not tell people the narrative. They do not say this is what's going on and this is what reality is. They let people figure out themselves what is actually going on, and they do these things called Q drops. And like you just saw in the video here, it said Think Mirror. And Trump, he won't come out and say anything about Q, which is fine, but you can definitely tell there is a relationship there, because the mainstream media would destroy him, as if they haven't already almost every single day since he took office, and even before that. But he knows it would cause so much more noise than he already needs at this point. So we're going to continue on. You saw the Think Mirror, but we're going to go into the next part of this document where it says look here, or look there, or here, or there. Truth is behind you. And we're going to be going to a part of this documentary where JFK Jr. is talking with, her name's Katie, I don't know her last name, but it's an interview that he did probably back in the 90s or whatnot. I'm just going to continue this right about here.
Thoughts?
We have a clip from a show called Look Here. We're going to look there and then talk about it.
If you were to have a son, do you encourage a political career for him? Yes, and I hope if I had a daughter, I might encourage her to play some pot. I don't know. I don't think this should be confined to men only, but I would definitely. I would hope he would grow up to be, if not a politician in the sense of devoting all of his time, I would hope that whatever he did do, that he would have some sense of responsibility for what went on.
When you hear him talk.
That among the
Look there, or here, or there. The connections that Q draws are absolutely mind-blowing sometimes. And again, I'm not saying this is what's going on. These are just the murmurs I've been hearing throughout our community and things I've been seeing. So Q does these drops and we decipher, and sometimes these are things that we find. So I saw that. That goes into a little bit more about what his father has spoken about and whatnot and all that stuff, and one of his big speeches. And we're going to scroll through, and we're just going to see some picture comparisons here. And again, it's up to you if you want to believe this or not. I'm just here to show you the information, and you can decide what you think from here on out. There's his wife, and you can see here, these were the older pictures, but when I originally started showing you in the beginning of the video, when this Fusca guy was standing directly behind Trump, this was the woman standing right next to him behind Trump as well, and she's in a bunch of other videos from his rallies as well. So we'll continue on. There she is right there. JFK Jr. And again here, guys, here's some photo comparisons. So yeah, there's some photo comparisons there. It's very odd. Again, all this information is, I just found out this stuff about a couple days ago. I didn't even know this was a thing. I caught wind of it, and I just wanted to show you guys. We're almost done. I just wanted to show you guys a few more things here. Let's see. So this part right here, I'm going to show you. Sometimes this is how Q works. The Anons work on their drops. They do all the research, and sometimes they just straight up ask Q this questions, and sometimes Q answers, sometimes they don't. But in this particular case, this Anon asks Q, is R real or fake? And again, R is referring to JFK Jr., and this was the response. There is only Q.
People are at different places in this whole movement, right? So this Anon came in and presented a question that is...
Her voice is really annoying to me, so I'm just going to stop that there. But you can see where Q wrote, there is only Q. Now, they didn't say it's fake, it's made up crap. They just said there is only Q, which to me, in my mind, that means he could be real, he could still be alive, and that he is a part of Q, and that Q is the only entity that is giving this information out. JFK Jr. is with Q, and he is part of this big grand plan that's going on right now. Again, don't know if this is true or not. This is just the information that I found from this documentary and other sources that I found. So they go into that for a little while. They talk about that. Again, I've seen a lot of the Q posts before where Anons ask is what's going on with this character. They'll ask straight up questions, and Q will be blatant sometimes, just say no, it's false, that's not true. Here they didn't really go into that. They just said there was only Q, so they didn't deny it, nor did they confirm it. So it just leaves the question to be open. Maybe this is something that's really going on. So we're almost done with this segment. We're going to keep going here. I'm going to show one more thing here. 2256.
Plane crash, 1999. HRC Senate 2000. The quote unquote start? Enjoy the show. Q.
So what this was a Q drop. Let's see, from April 8th, 2018. And it says here, POTUS, President of the United States, which is now Trump, and JFK Jr. relationship. The plane crash was supposedly when JFK Jr. died. HRC, Senate 2000, The Start, Enjoy the Show, Q. This right here is very intriguing. Now, you guys have to understand about Q. They also send out disinformation to mess up the enemy, the deep state. And they do this to see if they slip up, if they react to their post, and see if they can say something, have someone turn against each other. And disinformation is good because it takes the work out of Q and all these good white hats that are trying to protect our country and to expose these people. But why not let them expose themselves? So again, I've said this a million times already, I don't know if this stuff is true or not. This is what this documentary is showing and some of the good information that I found here. And it's just really interesting to me. So I'm going to show just 2 more clips here, and we're going to be done with this. We're going to move on to our next topic. So right here, I think it is. This was a Q post back on February 12th. It was number 742. It says The Inner Circle. Micah Brzezinski, background, family/careers, McLean, Virginia. The age of tech has hurt their ability to hide/control. Majority today were born into the circle. Investigate those in front of the camera who scream the loudest. And if you follow anybody that's part of the QAnon movement, especially Joe M., he makes amazing memes, especially with the Hollywood. It says investigate those in front of the camera who scream the loudest, and it's usually the actors and people from Hollywood who trash Trump, say he's a racist, and just all this other crap. And this line is always referenced to in a lot of Q posts and a lot of the followers. But this says these people are really stupid. End is near. The media cleanse /JFK. And let's have her talk. Her voice drives me crazy, but let's do this real quick.
This just happens, 742, with the POTUS tweet, just happens to reference a Kennedy and ties right into John F. Kennedy Jr.
So we're going to end this part of the video right here. This is another rally.
They said, oh, you can't bring back manufacturing jobs. Really? You can't bring back. That was wrong. Remember they said, you'd need a magic wand. Well, I guess we have a magic wand.
And this is where Trump supposedly waves
And those are our great jobs.
al fresco here.
They said, oh, you can't bring back manufacturing jobs. Really? You can't bring back. That was wrong. Remember they said, you'd need a magic wand. Well, I guess we have a magic wand.
Waves. And this is where JFK Jr. supposedly was. He waved at him. And then ends We Are Q. Now, I just want to show one more thing on this second video that talks about a lot of this stuff. And this one is just another video of the rally. We're going to go to 44 seconds here.
After Trump cues R, we watch Junior write.
This is supposedly where Junior is.
Junior. Now where's the Junior?
There's his wife, supposedly right there.
But now it's
There's
time
JFK
to
Jr.
go a little deeper down the rabbit hole.
So I'm not going to go into this video as well. And again, maybe he was doing the JFK Jr. It's possible. But the whole thing's crazy to me. Again, I don't know if it's true or not, but if it was true, how crazy would that be if he came out July 4th and just said, hey guys, I never died. I know all these secrets about the deep state and all these people that who tried to kill who killed my father, and just who knows if he was alive, what knowledge he knows, and what people and what corporations he could expose. Imagine if he teamed up with Trump. Can you just imagine how powerful that would be? And people are saying it could be July 4th, and this is when it's supposedly going to happen. That's what everyone's pointing to. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. I just wanted to get this out there to you guys because I thought it was super interesting. So we'll just go on and we'll move on from here. So the next thing I wanted to talk about that not a lot of people or a lot of the mainstream media isn't talking about, we're going to be talking about pole shifts. And I just wanted to bring this up. A lot of people don't know that the Earth's magnetic poles are moving at a super alarming rate. In fact, in this article goes over that the scientists that track these things, that it's their full-time job, they had to readjust their GPS systems and the military navigators to get it back on track, essentially, because they could not believe how fast it was moving. And just to let you guys know, these pole shifts, they don't normally happen. They don't happen like every few years. The last time it actually happened was 800,000 years ago. That's how long ago that the last pole shift actually happened. So whether you believe in climate change, it's really, I don't know how I feel about climate change, because again, it's peddled by mainstream media, so I don't really trust anything they say. And to be honest, everyone can see the crazy weather patterns going on right now. Just look at the Midwest. They were getting destroyed by tornadoes lately. The flooding in the Midwest as well is just devastating. I know out here in New York we had just a long, elongated winter, and even out in California it was just raining and it was just colder than normal weather. Out in Palestine, like Afghanistan and all them, it's still snowing. It's just, the weather is definitely changing, and the pole is actually moving more east towards Siberia now. That's where scientists are starting to track it, and it's moving at a very, very fast rate. And the reason why I bring this up too is because people are noticing, the farmers, I guess people that live off the land, they're not really connected to cities. A lot of reports are coming out that they can actually notice a shift in where the stars are. When they look out in the sky, they actually notice that their shadows are being projected at not the normal angle that they would normally be at, and they pick up on these things. I mean, they're out in the wilderness all the time. They live off the land. They pick up on these things, and it's not just people in the middle of nowhere out in these jungles or rainforests. Farmers all over the world are noticing. They're noticing these things. And the big problem is, with all these floods, it's destroying farmland. And what's happening is these corporations are throwing money into the climate change phenomena, and they're blaming humans, or blaming agriculture. This is causing all these problems. So guess what? We're going to sink more money into corporations that are going to battle climate change and whatnot. And what that's essentially doing in a lot of places, they're buying out the land from these people, and these people are then moving from the land into more cities. And obviously that is a control factor. That is to get them off the grid, back into the grid. Not only is that going to affect food prices, that's going to allow these governments to make money on these people that they weren't normally making money on them for. And if you know anything about the deep state controlling weather, and there's a word for it, I just can't remember right now, but there has been ways that have been seen that they have tried to use weather as a weapon to move people, to get them off land that they may have gold, things like that. Like I even heard something about out in California that these rich people lived on this land that supposedly was sitting on top of a gold mine, and obviously they're not just gonna say, the government's not just gonna say, hey, you need to move off this property. Maybe these wildfires were something that was maybe caused by someone else. It wasn't just a freak of nature and just climate change and that the earth is getting warmer. I don't know the case, but these are just things to think about. Not everything is as it seems. I can tell you that right now. So I just wanted to bring this up again with these farmers. I'll show you real quick here. Again, this is talking about more magnetic pole, but these are just some pictures of the flooding that's going on. And again, a lot of flooded farmland, and it's just destroying all these farms. And the thing is that once these floods hit, it takes about 10 years for that land to go back to the soil, to where the soil can actually start producing food again. So just think about the damage of that. And the more that these farmlands are destroyed, again, it drives the prices of food up. Deep state loves making that money, and it forces people on the grid, which they can make taxes off these people more. So just something to think about. Again, this stuff is really not talked about in mainstream media. I saw a few posts on Washington Post, which is disgusting media. It's all Mockingbird media. But sometimes they throw in some good articles. Not that saying they're truthful, but again, all people want to talk about is Trump being a racist and Trump's still teaming up with Russia and all this other garbage that they've been peddling for 2 years. But they really don't want to talk about the issues. And I already went over the Mueller report and how he's done. Mueller's done. He's moving on with his life. Who knows what will happen with him, but he essentially said the case is closed and we're moving on now. So, next thing I wanted to go over, not to end this on a bad note, obviously everybody heard about the Virginia shootings. Obviously 13 people died. Officer was wounded. He didn't die because of his bulletproof vest, which is great, but obviously shootings are never good. This is happening a lot. But from what I'm learning, being in this community, these shootings are, they always bring up, it's a random person, it's a random act. And really what it comes down to is when the deep state is in hot water or they need to create a diversion, these things seem to happen. Shootings seem to happen. Some mass catastrophe is to pull the public's attention away from what's going on, so they're being exposed. So, again, I don't want to go too in depth with this article. Again, most people can find this themselves. Most people know about this already. When this stuff happens, everyone's made aware of it. This was a guy, let's see where his name is. His name was named Dwayne Craddock. He was a public engineer. He worked for this municipality for a very long time. And he pretty much walked in to this place, and there was this government building, and he went onto each floor besides the basement, and he just started shooting at random. There was mixed reports saying that he had a rifle, but the officers found that he had a .45 caliber with a silencer on it, and I think another pistol or something like that. Either way, he was just going. It didn't matter who it was. He was just shooting into anybody that he could possibly find. And again, he wounded an officer. And the officers that took him down, they wounded him. They tried to save him, but he eventually died. So while this was going on, just a couple days before, I'm just going to transition to something that does relate this real quick. This guy named Ryan Saavedra, he tweeted a video of Obama out in Brazil, again talking about gun laws and just making this garbage up, these lies. And I'm gonna play the quick video. It's like 30 seconds, and let's just take a listen.
And some of you may be aware our gun laws in the United States don't make much sense. Anybody can buy any weapon, anytime, without without much, if any, regulation. They can buy it over the internet. They can buy machine guns.
So you guys just heard this nonsense. Anybody can buy any weapon anytime without much, if any, regulation. Are you kidding me right now? This was Thursday, I believe. Yeah, Thursday that he was speaking at this event in Brazil. You can't buy a machine gun over the internet. Just a few years ago, I went to go buy a shotgun, and I had to sit in line for 4 hours and wait for a background check to come. What are you talking about? There isn't any regulation. This is complete garbage. And so this is what happens, people. I just want you to see. So and this all ties into what I want to show with Sean Hannity, and because literally yesterday Trump had sent a tweet out saying there was going to be an all-star cast on Fox, exposing the deep state. And here you can see here on the Sean Hannity show at 9 o'clock, it says, "Tonight the reckoning begins. The deep state actors who thought they could violate Americans' trust and abuse the powers given to them will be exposed to the entire world to see. Tune in for the Hannity special, The Deep State's Day of Reckoning." So this was going to be happening at 9 o'clock, right? So this shooting happened, and literally these guys were talking. They had some really good points. I wasn't able to watch it. I was able to see some clips online about it, but literally they didn't even show the entire show, because you want to know why? They went to coverage of the Virginia shooting. And this is what happens, people. When the deep state does not want to be exposed, they want to distract you, they will throw in a shooting that they say is a random person, which I believe could be MK Ultra. And if you don't know what MK Ultra is, you can do your own research. I might do videos on that later on, but they're already all over the internet. It's a mind control program that the CIA has documents that you can actually read that were used, that can actually, they use techniques to control people's minds to make them do insane things. So these things are they're not science fiction, they are real. But they use these distractions to pull people away from them being exposed. So a shooting happens, right? And then we hear about, oh, we need more gun control. We need more regulations. That's not going to work. What's going to work is the deep state needs to be exposed, and they need to get rid of and get out of the government. And I just wanted to show you guys just some of these things, some of the tactics that they use. Things, again, are not as they are, and this is the whole entire point that I want to bring these videos up. So it's been a long enough video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, the JFK Jr. stuff is super interesting. I don't know necessarily if it's real. It would be awesome if it was. You guys saw some things about the magnetic pole shifts, and we talked about some of the tactics the deep state uses to distract. So thanks for joining me. I'm going to post this as soon as I can, and stay woke.